What time do you get here?
Usually about 9:30 or so.
How long have you been in this office building?
I think we moved in here about 2005.
Why did you choose this office building?
Mostly because it was 5 minutes from the house and 5 minutes from the school where my son was at the time.
How do you feel when you come to work every morning?
Usually I'm pretty excited to see everybody. Hey, Friday.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good morning.
We're good.
How many days a week do you come into the office?
Well, more we come Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and everybody works at home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. What? I have a call.
What's the first thing you do when you get to the office?
I'll show you when we get up.
Why did you choose the 7th floor?
7's my lucky number. Come on in. Welcome to Tribe. Hey, everybody. Morning.
Where do you do your better creative thinking?
Usually in the woods, running with our border collie.
What's your favorite item in your office?
I would say this painting by Elizabeth Stockton, who's now a famous painter, but she used to be an art director working with us at an agency a million years ago.
How do you prioritize family in your career?
Well, now that we're empty nesters, it's usually Sunday suppers, so getting everybody around the dinner table.
What lessons have you learned as your role at Tribe has evolved?
Oh, one is to hire talented people and then get out of their way.
What's your favorite project you've worked on?
It's almost always the one we're just about to show to clients, because if the work is really great, it feels like watching people open Christmas presents.
How do you take your coffee?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Steve usually gets me a Starbucks, and my order is a grande non-fat latte with 3 agave.
Who's a professional inspiration to you?
I would say Steve Baskin. Steve is my business partner and also my husband.
How many emails do you have when you start work in the morning?
Not that many, because I'm pretty fanatical about cleaning out my inbox at the end of the day.
How do you overcome writer's block?
Keep writing. Just write bad stuff until the good stuff comes again.
How do you start your morning with your team?
Well, I like to check in and see how everybody's doing. Usually they've got things rolling before I get here. Hey, Samina, how are you? Good, how are you? I'm good. We're good. What's going on, Tim?
Sure, here.
Oh, yeah, that turned out great. I love that.
What keeps work
Nice.
exciting
Really
for
nice.
you?
I love making things, and that's what we do. We make things every day.
What types of things do you look for when you hire employees?
I like it when people have waited tables or worked at Publix, and I look for talent and a sense of humor, and most importantly, that they're a nice person.
Elizabeth, do you want to look at this?
Sure. Oh, that looks great.
Why are internal communications
I really love the way that's turning out. What is that?
Why are internal communications important for businesses?
It helps keep employees in the loop, helps align what they're doing day to day with leadership's vision, so it makes their jobs more meaningful.
How do you handle HR here?
Well, someone on the team developed this QR code, and if you scan it and file your complaint, it instantly goes into a black hole.
What's your biggest weakness?
I move too fast.
What's your biggest strength?
I move really fast.
What employee do you bully the most?
Parker, but he's in Singapore today, so you can't see me bully him.
What's your favorite season?
Summer. I love the trees here and looking out at the river in the morning. The mist is over there, over the Chattahoochee. It's really beautiful.
Which one of your employees would you
David.
want to work for?
You've got that thing we're going to do later?
All set.
Okay, good. I would say Julie, because she is clearly the nicest.
Microsoft Teams or Zoom?
Zoom, please.
What's your least favorite interview question?
Why aren't there more female CEOs?
Who's the most interesting person you've ever interviewed?
Bill Bowling at the Atlanta Community Food Bank. I interviewed him for the Journal-Constitution when he was just starting, and it's become a really amazing organization.
What's your favorite thing to talk about?
I like to brag about anybody in my family.
What's been your biggest career failure?
One time we printed a client thing with an 800 number that turned out to be the number of a sex line.
How'd you recover?
First, we tried to buy the sex line, and Then we just called the client. I had to tell her what had happened,
What did you learn from it?
to always use a professional proofreader.
Your office is pretty close quarters. How did you handle the pandemic?
We just went home. We closed up, put a note on the door to leave deliveries there, and everybody worked from home.
What's your favorite spot in the office?
This couch is pretty nice, but I don't sit here that often.
What advice would you want to share with the next generation of entrepreneurs?
A lot of would-be entrepreneurs ask me for advice, and I find that a whole lot of them do a lot of talking and never actually do it. So I would say, if you want to be an entrepreneur, just go ahead and start.
What's it like working with your husband?
It's usually pretty fun. Wouldn't you say?
What's your biggest ick?
People using ellipses or quotation marks incorrectly.
Who's your favorite author?
I have a ton of favorite authors, but I like historic fiction, people like Geraldine Brooks.
Do you experience burnout?
No, well, maybe. I get tired, but I don't ever get to the point where I don't like what we do.
How do you minimize burnout and prioritize your stuff?
I have a very strong sense of self-preservation, and I take good care of myself.
Is work-life balance important for you?
Sure. I learned that early on in my 20s and 30s when we were working 60-hour weeks in ad agencies that were just a little bit this side of Mad Men.
If there was one thing you could change about the world, what would it be?
Climate change.
Describe your personality in one word.
Difficult.
What makes you tough?
Doing hard things.
What's one thing you never want to do again?
Zipline.
Do you ever plan on retiring?
I think retirement will look different for people my age. I don't imagine stopping work. I imagine maybe teaching college and writing fiction.
What's one goal you want to achieve in your lifetime?
Publishing a novel.
What do you do when you get home?
Well, the first thing I do is say hello to that little border collie. Daisy! Where's Daisy?
Where do you walk your dog?
Our favorite place is one of the Chattahoochee Wilderness Trails. We've got a trailhead about 5 minutes down the road.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
Cook a lot of things. I usually big batches of things and freeze them for the weeknights. Spaghetti, chili, jerk chicken.
You started Tribe at home. Where was your office here?
I sort of tried right here in this little room, right at this desk.
How did you manage being a CEO and a mother?
I had a lot of help, but it was fun.
Do you do a crossword puzzle every day?
I do. I do the New York Times puzzle every day, and I also do the New Yorker puzzle and Wordle.
How many guesses did it take for you to get your Wordle today?
3.
I hear you have an awesome turtle pond. Can we go check it out?
Yeah, let me show you. There are 5 turtles out here. That's Mittens, and there's Rosie and 3 babies that don't have names yet.
When did you know you wanted to start your own business?
Well, I was in my early 30s working at an ad agency in a meeting with a bunch of white guys in neckties, and it just occurred to me that they didn't know anything I didn't know, which was naive, but it gave me the guts to start an agency with a friend.
Why did you start Tribe?
Tribe was the second agency I started. I sold Match when our youngest was about 1, and I started Tribe soon after, really as a way to be a parent and have a business at the same time.
Is it working out?
I don't know, we'll see. It's only been 21 years.
What are your key responsibilities at Tribe?
Well, as CEO, I manage the day-to-day operations and I oversee financials, but the most fun part is executive creative director. I work with the creative team on all the creative work that goes through the agency.
What does a typical day look like at work?
It depends. On a good day, it's doing creative work myself and working with the creative team. On some days, it's a lot of client meetings and a lot of agency management.
What's one of your most significant career moves since college?
I think having the guts to start my agency Match in '96. It was leaving the security of a paycheck to jump off that cliff and depend on yourself.
What skills do you think are important for young people today that weren't relevant when you were getting started?
I would say programming for one, and I would say for anyone who starts a company, you need to cultivate that a sort of sense of zen where you don't get too excited about the highs and don't get too worried about the lows.
Who was the best boss you ever had?
Steve Higgins, he was my editor at a very small newspaper when I was a reporter in Dallas, Georgia.
What do you do for exercise?
I Peloton. We have a Peloton tread I run on. We have a bike. We have a rower. It's all in the basement.
What's been your greatest Peloton accomplishment?
I'm coming up on 400 straight weeks.
What's that trail out there?
That's a trail I built for Daisy when she was a puppy, and it took me weekend after weekend after weekend. It's like an Eagle Scout project. It was so much fun.
Will you take us on it?
Maybe next time.
All right, that's 73 questions.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.